Welcome to The Bite. My name is Jackie. Today I'm going to share with you my take on a pumpkin cheesecake muffin. They're just absolutely delicious. They're exactly what they sound like in the name. 2 years ago I shared with you my favorite pumpkin muffins. Those actually use a yellow cake box and some pumpkin and butterscotch chips, and heaven. It's just heaven. Last year I showed you pumpkin apple muffins, but this year I've been into cheesecakes a lot. I don't know if it's this pregnancy or what, but I really think this muffin is absolutely delicious and I was excited to share it with you. I have kind of an assembly line set up, so I can take you step by step and show you what you'll need for each thing, but they come together in absolutely no time. And my oven's already preheated because this is gonna get rolling so quickly, just you watch. So let me show you what you'll need. So for the muffin portion, I have my wet ingredients. This is vegetable oil, some whole milk or 2% milk. I have brown sugar, white sugar, some pumpkin puree, and I think that's all I have in here. Also 2 eggs and some vanilla extract. For the dry ingredients, I just have some all-purpose flour, some salt, baking soda, baking powder, some pumpkin pie spice or apple pie spice, and then a little extra cinnamon. And then for the cheesecake filling, I have some room temperature cream cheese, some powdered sugar, and I'll be using the vanilla extract. And then it's gonna have a streusel topping on top. So that just needs brown sugar, cold butter, and pumpkin pie spice, and a little bit of flour. So I'll kind of walk you through each thing as I go, but it's so quick. So I'm just gonna mix these ingredients together and give them a little bit of a head start before I add in my eggs. Actually, I'm just gonna splash in some vanilla too. So that is mixed in. I'm just going to crack in my eggs. Great, looking good. So before I add in my dry ingredients, I just wanna mix them so that there's no clumps of any one ingredient. That's good enough. And then I'm just going to add this right on in. Oops. It's sticking because I just washed the bowl. Ay, ay, ay. That's okay. So now I'm just going to mix this very carefully so that I'm not showering myself with flour. So you just want to mix until you're left with a smooth batter, just like this, no clumps. And this is looking good, so I'm just gonna set this aside and start working on my filling. All right, so I'm gonna scoop this to the side and get working on the cheesecake filling. So for the cheesecake filling, I like to use powdered sugar instead of granulated sugar because I find that, so you're gonna get a generous portion of this cheesecake in there. And I find that the little bit of cornstarch that is in powdered sugar kind of helps keep the cheesecake filling intact instead of making it loose and runny. So I think it works really well, but if you don't have it and you don't want to go get it, I don't blame you. Just use granulated sugar and maybe a tiny pinch of cornstarch, just to keep the texture the same. So now I'm going to add in a little bit of vanilla extract. Mix this all up until it is nice and smooth, and then we can start making our streusel topping. So the cream cheese mixture is mixed together, everything is combined, and for this reason, just like for a regular cheesecake, you would want to use room temperature cream cheese. Otherwise, it'll be clumpy and it'll be really hard to make it a smooth mixture like this. If you forgot to take it out in advance, just stick it in the microwave for like 30 seconds or so. You don't want it melted, you just want it to be room temperature, and you'll be left with this. So this is perfect. I'm gonna set this aside and get to work in on the streusel topping. I told you, it's an assembly line. We're gonna keep moving, So, I have some cubed butter here. You want the butter to be cold because if it is too warm, the streusel topping won't hold its shape as well. So you can either use a pastry cutter. I think for something small like this, a fork with long prongs will do just the same job. So I like to, while it's still in the wrapper, I like to kind of slice it in little cubes before I add it in here. I just feel like it's a little bit easier and kind of helps me out a little bit. So I I have my brown sugar, the all-purpose flour, and pumpkin pie spice with the butter, and I'm just going to kind of push down with my fork to get the butter to kind of be in like little pebble sizes, like little pea shapes. And that is going to help that along with the flour actually is going to help the streusel stay intact and give it that nice crunchy topping that coffee cakes and a lot of muffins around this time of year tend to have. So this looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to mix it one more time so that there is it seems like all the flour is kind of clumping up over here. So I just want to make sure that everything is coated really well before they hit the top of the muffins. And then I'm gonna go grab my muffin tray, my muffin tins. What is it called? What is it called? The muffin pan. What the hell is it called?
Muffin pan. I don't know. But then you gotta say it's muffin man. The muffin man, the muffin man.
No.
Do you know the muffin man?
That's Nadia's song. The muffin tins, I already have them lined and ready to go, and I have the oven preheated, so we're just gonna get to filling these cupcakes, and that's it. So this makes about 14 muffins. I know that's kind of an odd number, but that's just how it works for this batter. So I have my muffin batter, I have the streusel that goes on top, and then I have the cheesecake filling. So what I like to do is take a cookie scoop just like this and place a little bit in each muffin tin and just kind of give it an even base to start with, and then we'll fill it with the cream cheese filling. So once they all have that little bit of the batter in there, you want to kind of shake it so that it evens out. So see how there's these little gaps here? You want to, here, let me grab a spoon actually. You want to try your best to shake it, but you want to make sure that it's fully coating the bottom of the cupcake tin. So that way, the cheesecake filling that goes in the center won't come out from the bottom. You definitely don't want that happening. So I'm just gonna do my best to get all of those done. All right, the bottoms of all the muffin tins are covered. And now I'm gonna take a heaping tablespoon's worth of cheesecake filling, and I'm just gonna stick that right in the center. And you can be quite liberal with this because there is plenty to go around. So they're all filled with their cheesecake filling. I might actually fill this one a bit more, but come take a look at how much cheesecake there really is in these muffins. So when you bite into them, you're not gonna question, is it just a pumpkin muffin? No, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. So I am now going to cover, and what I like about having this much filling is that even when you cover it with the batter and you put the streusel on top, sometimes it cracks and you get little peaks of the cheesecake in there, and I think that's really pretty and really appetizing to me. So I'm going to just cover the tops of these with the same amount of batter, and you want to make sure to do your best to actually cover the cheesecake. It will still possibly break through, like I said, to give you that kind of marbleized look, but if it doesn't, it's no big deal. So I'm just going to do that and finish these off. So they're all filled, all the cream cheese is covered, and now I am just going to take the streusel topping and just take it with my hands and just put it right on top. And some can have more than others, whatever. You may not use this entire thing, but that's okay because you can use it, keep it in the fridge, and you can use it for other baking that you do throughout the holiday season. And it goes well on like breads and whatever other muffins. You can put them on cookies, whatever you want. So this is just gonna go right on top and give it that beautiful golden crusty look, and they're gonna be delicious. So these are all ready to go in the oven. Some I put a little bit more streusel on than others. You can do it however you want. Whatever floats your boat. Sometimes I like it with a little bit less just because I feel like it can be a little bit too sweet, but it does need that little crunch. I feel like it does a lot for the flavor and the texture. These are gonna go into an oven at 375 for about 20 minutes. You wanna check on them around 12 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. Some are hotter than others. And once a toothpick comes out dry, excluding the cheesecake portion, then you know that they're done. And you don't really want to overbake them, otherwise they tend to stick to the paper, and I try and avoid that. So between 12 to 15 minutes, start checking on them, and they're gonna puff up and look absolutely beautiful. Trust me, these are the pumpkin cheesecake muffins that you want. Just wait and see. So these ended up baking for 15 minutes, and it's smelling like fall in here. It smells so good. So these normally, sometimes they can take 20 minutes, and I think it varies on the type of pumpkin that you're using. If yours tends to be a little bit more loose, then you may need to do the full 20 minutes. Today I used Libby's pumpkin, which is probably the most popular one found in the US. If you're outside of the US, you definitely want to use a pumpkin puree. By the way, pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie mix. But yeah, the Libby's pumpkin tends to be less liquidy than others. Like I tested this with the Trader Joe's version, and that did take 20 minutes to bake. And you can see that some of these do have the little bit of cream cheese sticking out. So look at that. I mean, you can see the little cracks in some of them. I saw them when I was taking them out of the oven, but I think that looks beautiful. And like I said, there is a good amount of cheesecake filling in here. And you can even kind of see it peeking through the wrapper. So I'm gonna test one out. The cheesecake filling is really gonna be hot though, so just be careful if you're eating it straight out of the oven, just beware. All right, I'm gonna cut into it and show you. This was the last one from that other one, but look at that. Is that not the cheesecake muffin of dreams? We were not shy with that filling. Okay, let me tell you. But you saw that steam, so just be careful. I am gonna take a bite, and my daughter loves these. The epitome of fall. That's all I want to say. Is that not beautiful? My gosh. They freeze beautifully. You can heat them up for breakfast. I suggest if you do freeze them, take off the wrapper and stick them all into plastic bags. That way, when you defrost it in the microwave or however you do it, the paper, you're not tearing it off in little chunks. It's just the muffin by itself and you're good to go. So that's my little hot tip. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, because I was very excited to share this with you. Don't forget to share any remakes with me on Instagram or Facebook, because I love seeing them and sharing them. And you can find me at The Bite with Jackie on all social media platforms, except Twitter. I don't do Twitter. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Bite.